Welcome to 30 products in 30 days.
Come on, last try now. Wow, blimey. We are in the dip here where you get to this point of a project. This is quite long now. Final push.
There's not much left to do now, but to actually get building. Get ideating, figuring out what we're gonna build. And like I said in my launch video, I've got so many ideas to build. And one of those ideas is about building something that generates ideas and makes ideas better. So day one is going to be tiny product ideas. And I'm not going to make a list here. This is the product. So first of all, this solves a problem for me and a lot of people who want to build small tools that are actually valuable. And there is a lot of demand here. First of all, we've got Pat Walls, who's got a bunch of ideas, different products around starter stories. So definitely worth checking out. We've got my friend Julian, who's just built Startup Bounty, which is a kind of crowdsourced startup ideas. And we've got Greg Eisenberg's Idea Browser, which is a really strong business idea product. And what I love about this is the richness of the data. It's got things like keyword volume. It's got a bunch of data here about why. You've got a full analysis, community signals, and value equations. So I love that a lot of sites might just display the idea, but this is actually giving it a bit more depth and richness to it. So how are we going to make this slightly different? How are we going to remix this? So I think, again, focusing on that tiny product ideas area, people who are building with AI and want to ship products, helping people find those very small solvable tools that they can build, and either finding them, generating them, or allowing a in-depth analysis of their idea and maybe like other suggestions. Again, we need to pick one avenue. So maybe what we'll do to begin with is just do a bit of a brainstorm here, and then we'll decide on the path and get moving. All right, of course, going into brainstorming, we're going to hit up our guy Claude. So I said today we're kicking it off. First idea is a small product browser, browse ideas, or you can put an idea. So I was just giving it a few different things. I said about the dopamine of being able to browse through tools and see what's good. I think that's definitely enjoyable. Like I said, we can only do one thing today. We can't you can analyze your tool, you can generate tools, you can do one idea a day. We need to just focus on one to make sure that we can do it. So first is idea roulette. That's quite fun actually. Each idea comes with a quick viability score. Maybe you could have 10 ideas a day. Idea validator light. Yeah, to be honest, I think the browsing is better. Browse only catalog, grid of 50 to 100 pre-analyzed micro SAS. So I'm thinking we could almost do something similar to my Claude Code agents, where you're browsing, you can click into one, have a bit of a modal there, but I do like the richness of having a bit more of an in-depth analysis, and I think that will come from, we'll obviously get the LLM beforehand to do a bit more in-depth research on this stuff. So daily idea feed, idea match quiz. So I think the obvious one is this browse only catalog. And make the data good. And with this, you guys can actually go and have a look as well. We can use this if we're stuck on day 7 or whatever for an idea. We go and have a look through. And maybe the idea of having an idea loot box where you go on, you open your idea and you get it. I think either way, we need to build out the actual content itself. So I think first things first, we're going to, let's put together a framework of what the idea should be. Then we can get LLMs to create that. And let's say just create 10 ideas to begin with. And then we can decide, do we want to just allow a browse through there, or should we have a bit of fun with it? Again, already getting that scope creep, but that's all part of the fun, and we can see how we do. And I think in these challenges, we might need to actually be clever about what we're doing. Yes, we might have an idea for something like this, but we should almost have when we tackle it, we should have a basic version of that basic idea. And then if we have time, we can add a bit of swaz to it, add a bit of fun to it maybe. So let's jump into actually looking at the framework of the idea. First, let's start brainstorming on how we want to display the idea. So when a user clicks into the idea, what are the things there that we should show them? I.e., is it solving a small specific problem? Is there existing competition to show validated demand? Is it simple to build and ship? Okay, core analysis framework option, builder's lens, market, build complexity, I like that. My recommendation, pick 5 to 7 metrics, problem clarity, build difficulty, search intent, competition level, monetization, will they come back? I like that, that's a good start. So let's have a think about these and we'll jump back soon.
All right, so we've been coming up with different ideas here, but actually I like in this positioning of the search for SaaS ideas. So I'm a big fan of build what people search for. You've got validated demand there. You can build tools better than competition. You can see the competition. You can see who's doing well and then basically build better than them. At first I thought, oh, the SEO data here would be too hard to get for V1. But then I thought, but what about if we just focus on the search thing and then have some additional metrics alongside that? And I like that. And I would love a tool where I could go and browse small tools, things to build that have search intent, that show me the volume, show me the idea, show me what competitors are. Let me easily just go and see what they're doing for it. Let me see the keyword difficulty, how hard it is to rank for that. And I think we could be onto something here. And fits in with just making sure that we're getting a simple product and not making the scope too much here. I also like here the SEO play. So the content strategy, the programmatic pages, that's really cool. And you could maybe even show the total volume of potential search traffic that you could get if you did those other pieces. By the way, I've got to say, day one, going very well so far. I'm enjoying it. It's midday. We need to get our launch video up later today. And this video, of course, but feeling good so far. Feeling good. All right, so we've got the new flow. So you come to the site, you've got a hero, and then you can just jump in and browse ideas that have search volume. So when you click into one, you're going to see this monthly search. You're going to see the keyword difficulty and maybe some related searches. To give it a score on like how valuable is this to users, build complexity, SEO opportunity, and then a 30-day path. People like these paths and breakdowns, so I thought we could include that. And yeah, so I think now it's about the data prep. I think a lot of the value in this is in the data and content. Let's aim for 5 to begin with, and then we can add some more once we've got it ironed out. But yeah, to begin with, let's quickly whip up the page so we have something to work from. So I'm actually going to start this with V0. I think it's quite a nice way to just get a clean, well-built site structure, and then I can bring that locally to use with Claude Code. So let's make a prompt for this. And as this challenge is to share how I'll do these quick builds, I'll share how I'll get this started. So first of all, I'm going to create a prompt for it using Claude. It's got all the context here. It knows what we need. Sweet. Let's create a prompt to use in V0. So yeah, basically just lay out what we need here, like a nice grid using Shadcn and Tailwind, Next.js, React. Make it super clean, modern. Don't use loads of colors or gradients. Make it clean, use good spacing. And yeah, I need you to basically create a prompt that will give the grid, and then within the grid, different sections, all that stuff. So you can see, again, just dump in there. And again, give the LLM everything you got, and then just get it to clean things up. And then we can drop this into V0, and we will have our template there. And I'm thinking for the actual data, I don't think we're going to need auth or a database. We can just use JSON for this, which is basically going to be a long text file with all our data, so we can store it there. We don't need to use a CMS or anything like that for now. Cool. All right, let's bring this over to V0 and give it a whirl. V0 is a bit like the weather. Some days it can be good and one shot out of the gate. Other days needs a bit of tweaking, but that's completely fine. And on this challenge, we want it to be clean and look good. We're not trying to win any design awards at the same time. Nice to see the agents here as well, so different tasks in progress. I'd imagine, I don't know what they'd be using, Claude Sonnet 4 or GPT-5, I'm not sure. Okay, so apparently OBS is throwing some issues with screen recording, but here we are. It's used the agent to cook up something pretty nice and clean. In my prompt, I asked it not to overuse gradients or colors or icons, which AI design loves to do, but again, we've got something simple here. Main structure, so yeah, like I say, browse, monthly search. We can see search demand, related searches, value score, build complexity, SEO opportunity. And again, the value here really is in the actual data in there, so we're going to add a lot more richness to this. But what we're going to do is bring this over to our local machine Claude Code, give it a lick of paint, make it look a bit nicer. And we're not going for any design awards, but we'll make it look nicer. And then we'll work on the data. After that, put them together, and we're already looking to get our first product shipped. Nice and simple, keeping it easy. And we do need to come up with a name. So let's go over here. Give me 5 name ideas. Something around small, tiny traffic. Oh, that's pretty cool. Small tools with big search demand. Demand list. Proven demand for every idea. Keyword tools.build search. I can't help myself going over to Domainer. And by the way, Domainer API, I'd love to build a tool. I'd love to build an app with this. So I'll add that to my list, my never-ending list. What about build something people search for? Don't know what happened there. .archie. What? Is that too long? It's available. Build something people search for. .com. I quite like it. Maybe we'll go with it. Anyway, let's bring this over to our local machine. So we're going to create a repo in GitHub. Let's just call it build something people search for. Okay, so we had a few issues with our GitHub token there, funnily enough, but we got Claude Code to set up the site. So here we are with our local site. So we went from V0, now we've got it on our machine, and we've got some demo ideas here. And what we can do is init, which initializes a new Claude MD file, which kind of creates some documentation so we can have a quick skim through that. And it also allows Claude to get some context of how the project is working. Okay, I'm getting a bit hungry. I think it's time for some eggs, but I want to show you how we can make our projects not look exactly like every other AI project. So I just confirmed here that we're using Shad Tailwind, and we are. So what we're going to go to is a site called tweakcn.com. So it basically takes your ShadCN Tailwind projects and it basically gives them a nice twist. So as you can see here, I've got this vintage paper vibe, which I've been using in another project. And for Claude Code agents, I think we got it up here. I'm using the Claude theme, and you can do a bunch of remixing. I really like this product because it makes your project not look like everyone else's. And we also have dark mode and light mode. So let's have a quick browse, and I think we're going to be using this for a lot of projects. I do want to actually explore some AI design stuff, but anyway, let's keep focused. I quite like this. Yeah, we want to lean into that like SEO and data vibe. Okay, so let's go for Solar Dusk, and then what we will do here is we'll click on code, and then we can let's try this. So there we have it. It's not a huge difference, but it is a little bit cleaner now. And let's actually go back to, we've not got those orange. Sometimes you have to go back and forth a little bit. I just want to confirm that this is working actually. Okay, it didn't change it massively, but it gives us a good ground to work from. And as we use more components, we'll add polish as we go. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave it for now. We can clean this up as we go along. So quick refuel, and then we're back on it. Here's what we had before and after with the tweakcn update. So it looks a bit cleaner. It looks a bit less clinical V0 generated, and we can tweak it as we go. What's nice about tweakcn is we can actually come in here and go to whatever theme we want, and we can change different stuff as we go along if for whatever reason we wanted to make that a horrific blue. Yo. Okay, so I did just publish a video, and I think we're gonna have a day buffer, but cool to see some early engagement coming through, and yeah, people seem to be liking it already, so I think this is going to do some numbers, which will be sick. So right now we're on 163 views. Let's see where we end up later on. Okay, it's picked up some steam, to say the least. In the last hour, I've got 93 likes, 6k views. It's getting a lot of attention, making me a bit nervous, but let's go. What we got ourselves into. You can see the time now is getting a bit there in the afternoon. We did our launch tweet, it did very well. It definitely distracted me though. So clock's on, where are we at? So we've got our JSON file where we're gonna store all our ideas. So let me go to, so that's where we're gonna have the structure of the data, and then within that, we're gonna have content about it, and we're gonna use Claude Code to actually generate the content as well. So that's gonna be sweet and should make our lives a bit easier. And it can go away and do whatever it needs to do, and we can leave that chugging along whilst we move on to some other bits. So yeah, what I'm doing here is basically what we've got here in Claude in the JSON. I'm basically comparing that here and I'm tightening it up, reducing it down. So we've got this one here, and you can say, hey, here's a refined structure on our page. So let's just go through it quickly. So we got the browse main points there, we've got the detail page, so I want a few sentences on that. Search demand will obviously get that from our data. The value equation, I just want a few lines on each piece of that because it is interesting to think about. SEO opportunity, so like the ideas as we shown in the example, programmatic pages, other areas, maybe some related keywords as well. And then top competitors, I think will be a good one. When we are creating and writing the content, if you could do a search and then find the top 3 kind of websites that are currently ranking for that, then that would be good for our users to actually just really easily be able to go and have a look. So put that in, and then we'll paste in that, and we'll say thoughts. All right, so we've chucked in our first bunch of keywords here. So what I'm thinking is if we get all these into a CSV, then we can build on it from there. So the question is, do we want to dump all of them in or just pick good ones with search volume, low difficulty? Because is there any point of showing things like, I don't know, let's see here, plagiarism checker free, loads of search volume, but super high keyword difficulty. Text summarizer, there's still value there. You still know that if you're building that, people are searching for it. Not necessarily that you're going to dominate the SERPs. Something smaller, speed run timer. If you're into speed running, that's something for you to build. 2.8K. And yeah, waffling on, but let's keep chugging. Okay, so we're slowly trucking on from the announcement. So here's what we've got. We've got our search volume here, which I haven't populated yet. We've got SEO opportunities, so we've got related keywords, content ideas, programmatic pages. We've got the value equation, so like how valuable is this tool? If we look through the dream outcome, likelihood, speed, and ease, then we're getting an overall score that kind of is a bit of a, it's a good frame to look at things through. We've got top competitors that you can go and have a look at. And last but not least, start building now, copy the prompt, go to your favorite builder and get started with this. So I think that's a nice touch there. So I'm just double checking what we've got now. I've got Claude writing some documentation basically. So each page has a certain page structure. We want that to be well documented, i.e. what content are we putting in each piece of the page? So then when we go and generate 50 of them, there's a consistent structure and we can make sure we're not generating rubbish for the users. Whilst we're here, I guess we should update this nav. But here, let's see what we got here. Okay, so we've got this README file. So this OBS is making my computer so slow. It's not good. I think I might need to find some different software to record with. Don't know if you can see on here, but it's crazy. Okay, so as you can see in this file, what we've got is structure of the page, and then we've got for each part of the JSON file, we've got some docs on what we need to basically generate. Cool. So what I think we'll do now is double check that with our main other Claude thread. I like to always be cross-referencing. And then I think we can start generating the content. And last but not least, maybe give it a little bit of a polish, but I think it's looking pretty clean so far. Update this nav. And so yeah, we'll get back to you once we are generating the content. In the meantime, I'm going to make a new Claude instance. I'm going to say, hey, can we make a quick about page and add it to the nav? Just to give the kind of once over of what this project is about. Why would someone want to come to buildsomethinpeoplesearchfor.com? You could just write about how coming up with ideas is super tough and people love to think about brand new ideas, reinventing the wheel. Maybe they'll look at existing projects and try and get some inspiration. But one very easy way, everyone always says, look at what people are already using or what people want, what people are buying, what people are looking for, and then you can fulfill that demand. And that can be a bit of a grey area. You don't really know. You speak to people, you don't know how truthful they are. Here's the thing. If you build something that people search for, you've got raw data there. You can see how many people are searching for different things. You can see how hard it is to compete. And if you think about how magical that data is, then why would we not be using that more to build products? I worked at a startup that now does over $40 million annual recurring revenue. And one of their huge main strategies to get this growth was doing exactly the strategy, finding things that people are searching for and then building tools that fulfill that demand. If you build a good tool, you'll rank on Google, which makes other things rank on Google, and slowly you build up and get a bunch of users. So that is the quick manifesto. There we go. Let's get that in. Just like that, we've vibe coded an about page. What else do we want here? And this is how I work sometimes. It's like just reel off a few things pay instead of build. And let's see if it's here yet. No, not just yet. And the cool thing about Claude Code is you can have a bunch of these instances running, which is sweet. And let me tell you, sometimes I've had sometimes too many instances running. But yeah. How are we doing on time? Build something people search for.com. Okay. There we go. There's our about page. Nice. I like it. And that's going to link there. The problem with traditional ideation, coming up with business ideas is super tough. Most people fall into these traps and they ask people what they want. There's a better way. Look at what people are already searching for. If you build something that people search for, you get access to magical raw data, search volume, competition level. The data is incredible value. So why aren't we using it? Good news. We are now. Real world success. This isn't just theory. Cool. All right. So just finding some keywords. Here's a nice example. Like not huge volume. Can definitely build some tools in that sort of area. Another one could be like paint coverage calculator. So these are perfect examples. Maybe the keyword difficulty is a little bit high. And Claude is really bugging out though. And so I'm going to need to use Claude Code. And yeah, I just want to get a good list so that once we generate, we're in a good place and we can let it rip. All right, so I think we've realized that we need micro tools so that the competition isn't too high. But I think a list of like Logo Maker has loads of searches, but is it valuable to our visitors to show that? Not really, because it's so competitive. So maybe what's better is actually transparent PNG maker, for example. Chuck that in. It's got 5K global search volume, medium keyword difficulty, or image noise reducer, for example. Now these are good tools that you can build. Maybe that's not a good one. Image noise reducer. I thought that would have some volume, to be fair. But you see what I'm saying? That is almost a good sign. Photo grid maker, image border adder, text to asset art generator. That's a cool one. I actually wanted to do that as an idea for the challenge. Whoa, why is that so hard? This is always a bit an example one. I don't know, I'm still not super happy with them. Let me do a bit more iteration, but the clock is ticking. I need to eat some chicken. We'll keep trucking. Alright, we're struggling to get these keywords here. I said make it a bit more fun, but now it's done like villain name generator, which is just a bit dumb. Let me just remind Mr. Claude Code of what we're all about. Maybe that will help. Okay, so now I think we've gone a little bit too niche. So we've drilled in like Shopify image compressor. It is decent. I bet people are searching for it. So that is actually decent, you know. That if you built that, you could probably get some volume there. Is it too niche now though? So I'm basically saying, can you just chat with me and ask me some questions about what actually... So here's the thing with AI is that you sometimes don't know what you want. So it's a good way to actually get AI to ask you and clarify what you want. Because in your head, you think you've got a way of doing it. But actually once you start doing stuff, you realize that, you don't fully understand. We are in what you'd call the dip here, where you'd get to this point of a project and then just be like, like this is quite long now. Let me come back to it tomorrow, but guess what? We don't have that luxury, do we? So let's punch in these. I think this is probably quite a good middle ground because a lot of them don't have any keyword volume. Did we go to the right one? Come on, last try now. So what I'm going to do, get these keywords. I know I've said this like 12 times. Then get some food. I am going to have a video delay, so I'm going to post a video tomorrow at a good time, just to make sure that some nights we might be building till midnight. So I want to make sure that it's sustainable. I was a bit back and forth. Do I do the video and app on the same night? But I think it'll be better this way, and I can make the video a little bit better as well. Final 50 solid tools. Let's see if it's done it. Whenever Claude says final, be suspicious. Be suspicious. You're absolutely right. Alright, so we've just about got our list now, and we're going to test this with one. So it's going to do YouTube title generator. So let's see how that does. So you can see here it's got its different steps from earlier, from where we basically asked it to close that off. Yeah, we asked it to write steps for itself, so it will go through, which is cool. Okay, YouTube title generator is apparently complete. 2,900 monthly searches. SEO opportunity. TubeBuddy, that's cool. 23 titles a day. Nice, that is wicked. Happy with that. Nice. Okay, we've got the flux on now. It's getting a little bit dark outside. Still not had my chicken, but we've got our list of keywords. We're going to use global search volume, and We've now got a tracking system, and we're going to go through each keyword, got the volume, and then we're going to create the content from that. Okay, so I think we're good to let it rip now whilst we go out, but let's just start this off. I've done them all. Make sure you keep track. If you need to compact, go ahead and then resume. So good luck, have fun. Nice. Sweet. All right, good luck, Claude. See you soon. Yo, that was a good time to come back, isn't it? There we go. And just like that, we had a bit of a strange dinner. We had a nice non-alcoholic Heineken to kickstart the 30 days. And just like that, we got nearly 100 build something people search for tools with search volume, with related keywords, with an SEO opportunity, with competitors, with monetization, and with a prompt to start building. So there we have it. We're not far off getting this out as our first product. I think we can clean up this page a little bit, see if there's any other tweaking we can do. I'm quite happy with this page, to be honest. Other than that, you see the time, I see the time, and whilst we're here, let's do a check-in on our launch tweet. And if you're wondering why I'm saying about the Twitter, it's because I've got under 2K followers, so I'm not used to this sort of engagement. So pretty cool, hey? Check the YouTube. Wow, blimey. The subs have gone up quite a bit there. How many subs are we on today? Look at that, 40, I don't think it's showing me in real time. Oh, there you go, 730. Wow, look at that. 587 to 730. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. We are trying to clean up this page a little bit here. I don't love the design of the card. So I'll do this little logo though. That's pretty cool. So what I'm asking here is I'm saying, give me 5 just clean Shadcyan variations. Then we can see how that does for us. Hopefully clean stuff up. That's our non-alcoholic beer. Not sponsored by Heineken. If anyone does want to sponsor this series, it's early days, maybe get in while the price is good. Okay, let's see. As we go through, our design process will get better and better. This is actually a sick way of doing it, because there's some MCPs and stuff that do this. But what do you reckon, guys? I really like variation too. And I think I'll be using this variation trick in future. Okay, we did actually opt for a dark mode and slightly different theme, because I realized it actually looks a little bit too much like Claude Code Agents with the orange sort of vibe. Okay, what we're doing now is we are making it so the window, the title in the browser doesn't just say like a Next.js app and social share, and just making sure that is all looking okay. I'm mindful you can't actually see that. There you go. Final push now, 1048. We are just doing some mobile responsiveness work. Look how easy it is to do a domain in Vercel. It's incredible. Before I was doing Namecheap, but by going through their clunky platform, buying domains. Now I click domains, add domain, and then I type in buy domain. Then I type in build something people search for.com. There we go, exact match domain. And that's just gonna work, just like that. There we go. And just so it's gonna work. And look how easy that is. Honestly, it makes shipping to production such a breeze. There we go. Build something people search for.com. Find pre-validated tools to build by looking at their monthly search volume. Here we have nearly 100 tools to build. Some of them a bit boring, some of them a little bit more fun to build. We've got some AI stuff in here, we've got calculators, we've got image editors. That's quite a broad keyword. Intro maker, 36,000 monthly searches. We've got SEO opportunities, related keywords, content ideas, programmatic pages, which is cool. We've got some competitors there. Little monetization strategy, just to get the brain going, just to get some ideas flowing. Last but not least, we've got a start building now prompt. So copy that, head over to your favorite builder and get the ball rolling. And there you go, all free. Build something people search for.com. Got a little about page if you want a bit further reading. But yeah, there we have it. There's project 1, day 1, and out on production. Yeah, I guess that wraps up the video for this evening. Cheers for tuning in if you've watched this far, and we'll catch you tomorrow for day 2, product 2. All the best. Yo, just a little side note. I've spent about the last 30-40 minutes replying to everyone on this post, And I think on YouTube and Twitter, the response has actually been like super sweet. It's been sick to see a lot of people interested, a lot of people wondering if it's even possible. Lots of support. Usually on this stuff you get a few grumblings from people, but not so much with this tweet. Just a lot of positive energy. Same on YouTube. So yeah, if you dropped a comment, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the series. Catch you in the morning.